How can you stop negative emotions controlling your thoughts and feelings? The brain functions in a series of habits. We'd like to think that every thought we had, that every emotion we had was brand new and fresh and alive and due only to that moment. But it's not. So much, the vast, overwhelming majority of what we do on autopilot. Now we know that's true about our, for example, autonomic nervous system. We're breathing, we're swallowing, we're digesting, we're sleeping, we're waking. It's the autonomic nervous system. We're not doing it consciously. But there's a lot more that goes on in autopilot than just the systems of the body. The vast majority, sadly, of what we say, the tone in which we say it, what we do, we also do on autopilot. We'd like to think we're fully conscious, making these new decisions with every minute and every moment. But most of us aren't. Most of us are just kind of moving through our day habitually. And the brain works with our thoughts in the same way. The negative thoughts that we have right now, chances are the same type of negative thoughts we had an hour ago. Chances are the same type of negative thoughts we had yesterday. Chances are the same type we had last month. Chances are the same type, if not the same content, that we had 5 years ago. Which means that if we want to change it, we have to create a new pattern, a new habit. Or we have to develop the spiritual ability to be so incredibly present and mindful with every split second that we actually are able, with every thought, to check it and change it. But that's very difficult to do and still live in the world. We have to be able to relegate some part of the process to autopilot. And this is where changing the pattern of our thoughts come in, is we take the subconscious patterning, which in many people is negative. It's judgmental. It's judgmental of others. It's judgmental of the self. It's critical. It's critical of the self. It's critical of others. It's comparing yourself to others. It's hopeless or helpless about yourself, about the world. This is subconscious patterning. It happens at a young age. We carry it through our lives and reinforce it. And the only way to change it is to substitute it with a different patterning. And this is where the science of mantras comes in. It's also where techniques of affirmations come in. I mean, even aside from Indian tradition, focused on mantras. These days in the West, there's so much in the, New Age self-help world about affirmations. Why? Well, it's not just a matter of what the words are of that affirmation. It's giving yourself a new pattern. So yeah, you may think you sound really silly saying to yourself over and over again, I am beautiful and worthy and divine. I am beautiful and worthy and divine. And you start to sound like a narcissistic broken record. But what it's doing on a very deep subconscious level is giving the brain a new habit. If you can do it with a Sanskrit mantra, it's even more powerful in some ways because you've got the power of sound. As we've spoken about here, the science of sound, the science of these mantras. So it's not just the meaning of beautiful and worthy and divine. It's the actual vibration of the Sanskrit words. You want to do both? Do both. Have a Sanskrit mantra, have an affirmation. But give the brain something new to do, lay a new pattern. Because again, the vast majority of these thoughts are just that. It's just habit. It's not deep. It's not profound. It's not who we are. It's just what my brain does out of habit. And I want to give it a new habit. I want to rewire my brain. This is what in Indian culture we talk about as sanskaras. In science, we talk about neuronal networks and patterns. We say neurons that fire together, wire together. Well, it's this, we're talking about the same thing. But it can change. And now recent science has shown that meditation changes your brain, literally. Physically, structurally, functionally. Changes your brain. So that's the way to do it.